In the equity quadrant, the March Nasdaq futures, the consolidation pattern continues right in the middle of big tech earnings season. So what do I mean by this? It's been up 2 of the last 3 days after all. And if you measure from the opening price, it's been up the last 3 days straight. But if you go all the way back to the closing price on December 10th, that's 39 sessions ago, the Nasdaq is virtually unchanged. It's actually up a total of 0.06% as of the cash Nasdaq close on today, February 5th. So if you look at it that way, that's called a sideways consolidation or a sideways correction from the recent new all-time highs. The low today, 21,429.75. That was down 1.11%. So today was clearly a nice recovery to get to where we are right now. Again, a little bit of time left in the futures, but the cash is closed and we're sitting up about 0.2%. The high today, 21,742.50. That was up about 1/3%. Now, so there was some Fed speak today, starting with Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee. He discussed how fiscal policy could affect monetary policy. Then Fed Governor Michelle Bowman this afternoon briefly touched on the regulatory environment, its impact on monetary policy. So it's very easy to look at that and say, well, there's quite a bit going on that the Fed's going to be looking at, and it may not simply be a current inflation data decision when the next few rate cuts come. And there has been more rate cut priced in to 2025 as per the CME Fed Watch tool over the last few days. Also, looking at those fourth quarter earnings, tech earnings have been generally positive so far, with many companies beating APS estimates. The overall blended earnings growth rate for the S&P 500 for the fourth quarter of last year is 10.8%, which marks the highest year-over-year earnings growth rate since fourth quarter of 2021, and the tech sector specifically is expected to be up 15.2% when we're done compared to the same quarter in 2023. But the revenue estimates have been mixed. Overall, 59% of the S&P 500 companies have reported revenues above estimates, and that's below the 5-year average, which is 69%, and below the 10-year average, which is 64%. But the tech sector specifically, those revenues have been a little bit better, as illustrated by the semiconductor industry and the worldwide IT spend, which has been up, supporting the Nasdaq in this consolidation pattern. So we have both sides going, and that's essentially what consolidation is.